My next guest is stepping in on short notice and will fight Peter Barrett on August the 8th. And of course, it is Youssef Zalal. How are you, sir?
Pretty good, man. How are you?
I'm good. It's nice to talk to you. I'm excited for this fight with Peter. I just interviewed him fairly recently, so I'm excited that they found a replacement in yourself to step in for Steve Garcia. When did you first find out about this fight? And I'm assuming you must have been preparing to step in back to the cage very soon.
So, as you know, as the UFC, all things that's going on and all this, so show notices are all coming up very quick. You know what I mean? So, for me, it was especially for me staying at 45 was a lot easier for me to make weight. It was not super hard for me to make weight. So I was just training, and at Factory X, we try to train as like we staying ready. So for anything, if you're an amateur, you're a pro, it does not matter. We just try to stay ready for healthy, for LFA, for shoulder. So, and then I think it was like about last week. I can't remember what exactly the day, but it was a couple days ago. I got a call from my coach at 11 o'clock at night. And I was like, well, why the hell is coach calling me at 11? I was like, he's asleep by 9. He's like, because he wakes up like at 6. So I was like, this is weird. Did I do something bad? What was going on? I was like, what's going on? I got Jason, which is my manager, to the call. And I was like, oh, shit, here we go. What's going on now? We got a fight? He's like, yeah, we took a fight. And I was like, well, I got nothing else to do, so let's do it.
And I'm glad you mentioned the thought of 145 versus 135. You have mentioned that you do want to make that transition down to bantamweight here, so we'll dive into that in a minute. But first of all, I do want to recap this fight with Jordan Griffin. Wow, what a performance! Congratulations on that win, man. When you look back at that now, what is the big takeaway from beating a veteran like Griffin?
That fight, man, I learned a lot of stuff. I learned a lot of stuff from that fight. I really did. Like, I had some couple of big mistakes that I really did, but that's how I feel. And I talked to the coaches and everything, and I really wanted to do a lot of things. But man, it showed me like that experience from the cage to be there for 30 minutes just inside the UFC cage. It's a lot more experience and a lot more confidence for my own skills to go into any next fight. So that was the biggest thing I took from that fight is at an experience level, I can still go in for 3 rounds and even set 7 days notice, we'll still be able to perform and go on.
You've been fighting a lot of high level guys anyways before you got to the UFC, fighting for LFA, one of the biggest promotions in the world anyways. But beating a guy like Jordan Griffin, that may have been the most well known guy that you fought to date. What does that do for your confidence?
Man, it's big. It really big. Like you said, it really helps my confidence. And like you say, you really, it's not, you're not just in the UFC. You belong in the UFC. That's what I really wanted to do. And I really wanted I'm still not, I feel like, for me, my opinion, I'm still not like there. That's why I told him, like, I was like, this fight, I really want to make a statement.
Mhm. It seems like when you were switching stances, that kind of messed with him a little bit. Is that accurate?
Yeah, so as soon as I knew him, he was coming in, and he's always looking for that left high kick. Always looking for that left high kick. So for me, it was like, well, I can't go that side, so I gotta keep mixing it up and really get him confused and really get him to bite down a little bit. But obviously, he had to switch his game plan too. He thought he was just gonna be a striking, and then he started shooting takedowns and stuff like that. So obviously, like you said, the game changes as soon as you get hit. But I can see him that way, so that's why I was like, I just gotta keep up the pace and really make him not be able to find me.
What did your coach tell you going into the third round? How confident did you feel you were up on the scorecards, and did you feel you needed to go in and get a finish?
For me, my coach doesn't matter. You can be winning 2 rounds, and he'd be like, "Let's go out there and finish the third round. Let's go finish the fight. Let's really go out there and like just remember stay in the clinch, to find your elbows, find your body, and like remember he's hurt. Let's pick up the pace. Let's get him done. And then that's what basically every fight. I'll be winning 2 rounds. He doesn't care. Like he's like, let's go out there and finish the fight.
With all the judging controversies that are going on nowadays, though, do you feel, kind of nervous if you don't get a finish, like that you need to go out there because you just never know what they're going to look at?
Yeah, man. If you look at my left hook career, my 2 losses that I had was a very close decision. So I do not want that, and I do not want that feeling. So I 100% agree. I mean, like I try to finish all the fights as possible I can. So for me, that's why I'm so bummed the last 2 fights that I didn't finish my fights.
Well, maybe that will be changing here in the very near future. I do want to ask, did you get a chance to kick back and watch the rest of the card that night? I know the main event, for my money, may have been fight of the year between Poirier and Hooker. Did you get a chance to watch that?
Yeah, man, it was a crazy fight. I was like, oh my God. Like, I was like, you guys just love to get hit or what's going on, man? I was like, I can't do that, man. I was like, I gotta get out. Or like, I was like, I understand like the vet of the games and stuff like that, but you just love to watch that stuff, that's what makes MMA, it's like exciting fights. Even on the ground, it was still exciting, a lot of fans outside the fans, they'd be like, oh, it's a lot of grappling. It was boring, this, and that. But these guys like gave it all, even in the grappling. So that was pretty cool to see.
Tell me, how has the pandemic affected your ability to kind of live a normal life and train like you normally would?
I mean, for a few months, it really did affect our training. Like we had smaller groups, we couldn't do a whole lot. Like we got to keep it slow. We gotta, do a lot of things. But now, like slowly getting back up. So it's kind of like we still have the group that we train with, and really focus on training and focus on not doing like crazy stuff, and just really focus on this training.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and of course, you train at Factory X, a gym that really is on the rise and getting a lot of attention across the whole country in the MMA world right now. Who have been some of your main training partners that you're typically getting your work in with?
Man, my 2 teammates are fighting this weekend, and I'm cornering them actually. So it's Jonathan, Chris Gutierrez, Alex Hernandez train with us now. I have him, even amateurs, Markel, all that, Jacoby. We have all these guys training with. Anthony Smith is back in town, so I'm still getting rounds with him. Even though he's big, I'm still getting rounds with him. So there's a lot of guys that I'm training with, man. I'm very blessed to the training partners that I have.
Tell me, how has Chris looked thus far in camp? I just spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, and I also just interviewed his upcoming opponent, Cody Durden, who I know is very hungry, looking to make his UFC debut. What kind of a fight do you think we're going to see come fight night from Gutierrez?
Man, everybody that says, everybody that wants to finish Chris and really just go ham at Chris, he finds a way to just break you down, even with the kicks or hands, doesn't matter. But man, that kid is special. Like he's been grinding his whole past month or so, just to find a fight. And now they switch opponents like twice on him, like the guy didn't pulled out, another guy pulled out. Now it's this guy. So for him, it's he's staying mentally there, and physically, he's already physically there, and he's game. He's ready to go.
One thing I was really curious to get your take on is I feel like a lot of people are really starting to understand the benefits of maybe training at full time at Colorado, at altitude, and what that does for your cardio. Can you just kind of elaborate on that and how much better you feel as a mixed martial artist just from being there?
I mean, I don't think if I was not fighting in Colorado, I would not be able to take these short notices. I really don't think so. I don't know why, but obviously, if I was fighting in Vegas, probably. Who knows? But for me, I was like, it helps so much. Like you have one advantage over everybody in the fight game. You really do, and it's the biggest thing. It's like no cardio, you got problems. Like you're gonna get hurt, or you're gonna have some injuries, and you name it. But that's what I feel like we're above a lot of everybody in the UFC.
Mhm. Yeah, no doubt about it. You guys keep on trucking along and picking up wins left and right. So I think there's a lot of truth in that. You have said in the past that you thrive on short notice fights. So here you are again, another short notice fight. How fresh are you feeling leading into this one?
Man, the last fight, I was not even like, I came back and I was so pissed. Man, I wanted to finish the fight. Like, I'm pissed. Like, wanted to go do it again. So for me, it was like, I was not like, if you see my last 2 fights, like, I barely got hit. Like, I really barely got hit. Like I told everybody else, I was like, my goal is to hit people and not get hit. I was like, I understand it's boxing and they do it in line boxing, but I'm trying to bring that to MMA, really like trying to hit people and not get hit. Like just get out of there, just no damage, and you can be able to take short notices at any time. And that was the biggest thing for me, especially if we stand at 45 against like a lot bigger guys than me. So for me, it was like really trying to be efficient and really find my momentum and all that. So that was the biggest thing, and I feel like came out super fresh. Like I'm ready to go. Let's do it.
When you look at all of the great fighters that have competed for the UFC and other promotions, is there someone that you think your skill set is similar to, someone that maybe you've even patterned your style after?
I mean, I look up to a lot like Max Holloway. I like seeing his style, so like mix it up. You know, you just got to be the student of the game. You know, you see a guy like I told before is like I see some guys like I watched Kelvin Qatar. I think it's Peter's Barrett teammate. I think so.
Yeah.
For me, I was like I watch him. I was like, oh, okay, I see that's pretty cool. I can take some little things like that. But obviously, you know, I have coaches. I have great coaches and great teammates. And like you said, we just go on and learn and be a sponge.
Let's talk about this matchup with Peter Barrett. You know, he's a guy, he's got a good gas tank, he's well-rounded. When you look at his skill set, how do you feel like, you know, the things that you do well will translate into this fight?
Like you said, he really keeps up the grind on you. Like he really pushes you, okay, striking and going and going. So for me, it's like he would not. I don't think he ever fought somebody with the same movement as me and same pace as me. I don't feel like he ever had that before. So for me, it's gonna be a very exciting fight and a very interesting fight.
Where do you feel you hold the biggest advantage in this fight?
Uh, I can say striking. I can say striking. I can say striking, but I mean, I don't know. I'm an MMA fighter, man. I don't know. If it goes to the ground, I'll be in the ground. If it goes on the feet, I'll go on the feet. So it doesn't matter to me. But
You know, I know you said you're disappointed that you didn't get a finish in your last couple of fights. Are you going to be pressing to get one here, or are you just going to kind of take, you know, whatever he may give you here in the fight?
man, I learned from all my teammates, the vets, Anthony Smith, James Krause, all these guys. Like you don't rush finishes. You don't. They will come to you, and that's what I really focused on. I really focused on like doing through my MMA career, even at the early levels. Is like I really focused on just going with the flow and whatever it's there, it's there. Give me his neck, I'll take his neck. You give me his back, I'll get his back. Whatever. But beside that, nothing.
So give me an official prediction. How do you see this fight ending?
I'm really thinking it's be a finish, man. I'm going out there to make a statement, man. I am. I've been like having fun. I've been having blast in fighting, but I want to make a stamp in my UFC cage, especially on my third fight.
Do you see this being a quick fight though, or do you think it could go into the second and third rounds before you get the finish?
I don't know, man. I'm not usually a first round finisher, but if it comes there, it comes there. But second, third round, you better be ready for me.
So what's next for you? Are you going to take another short notice fight? Do you want to stay active, or are you going to take a little time off after this one?
Nah, man, definitely staying active, man. Whatever happens, happens.
Awesome. Well, I know we're all looking forward to this fight. Can't wait to see you and Peter Barrett lock horns on August the 8th. Thank you for the time. Before I let you go, if there's anyone you want to thank or any social media you'd like to plug, the floor is yours.
No, thank you, man. Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. You know, big shout out to my team, Factory X, my strength conditioning gym, Landau, my coach Augie in there. You know, those guys keeping me sharp 24/7 every day. You know, every day I'm training, staying ready, 365 out of the whole year. You know, I'm staying ready. So for me, a big thank you to them, and you know, big shout out to my wife and all my friends and my teammates.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the time, brother. Best of luck on the 8th, and we'll talk again soon.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate it, man.
Thank you, man.
Bye.